So, I think funny story. I was changing my shirt earlier to film this video because I wanted my Fantasyland as my home shirt on for this video, and completely forgot when I was taking off my other shirt to put this shirt on that I had been walking around with mini ears on in preparation for this video, and they completely got stuck on the mini ears, and I laughed and I was like, ah, silly me, and didn't take them off whenever I was putting the shirt back on. So yeah, day whatever this is of self-distancing quarantine has done a number on my common sense. Let's go in, talk some Disney.
All right, so we are back inside. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. We're gonna talk Disney today. I was feeling a little bummed today, thought, let me put on my mini ears. I walked around my apartment doing housework with mini ears on, and I thought, hey, mini ears make me feel happy. So do Disney movies, so does Walt Disney World, and so does talking about Walt Disney World. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be listing my top 10 favorite things about Walt Disney World. Most of this list is going to be in no particular order, but the very last thing, so you gotta stay to the very end of this video, will let you know what my absolute favorite thing about Walt Disney World is. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite thing about Walt Disney World is as well. All right, so let's get started on my top 10 favorite Walt Disney World things. Feel free if you want to pause this video right now and go if you have any Minnie or Mickey ears on, or you have a Disney shirt, or you have a cap on that you want to go ahead, pop on. I'll be waiting here. If you don't want to pause, you can actually go run right now. I'll put a little music, drink a little tea, and we'll wait for you. Okay, you're back? All right, good. So the first thing on my list about Disney World that makes me so happy and that I just absolutely love is all of the amazing opportunities. So I'll post a few pictures here and here as I'm talking, but the first thing that I want to do is actually something, it's an opportunity to do, and it's called the Disney College Program, and that's not why I love Disney World so much. I was able to go to Disney at a really, really young age. I think I was a year and a half or almost two the first time I went to Disney. Grew up a Disney baby. I'll post somewhere here the first picture of me with Mickey Mouse, and absolutely it's one of my favorite pictures ever. But the Disney College Program does hold a really, really special, special place in my heart. It was the absolute best thing I've ever done in my life. No jokes aside. It was, I met the best people. I still have some really close friends that I met all those years ago from that program. I was looking on Facebook today, and I was looking just on my old files, and I unfortunately don't have any pictures of me in my costume, but I do have graduation pictures, which I will post here somewhere, or I've already posted them. In those pictures, you will have noticed that I look really, really happy and really, really rested and really, really healthy, and it's because I was. So the Disney College Program is an opportunity that it's a paid internship. You go, you work, you do a lot of work, but it's a great way for college students. They have other programs, by the way, if you're not in college, you can go straight from high school, etc., that you can get real life experience, make a living, and spend your off time in the most magical place on earth. And it actually, I know that this is supposed to be a happy video, but I just have to make this point. Unless you've been living under a rock, you will know that all of the Walt Disney parks have closed because of the coronavirus. And I think that's a great thing to protect not only their guests, but their cast members as well. The people on their college program had their programs were terminated and they were sent home. And that, when I read that broke my heart a little. My heart was broken that the parks closed in general, but that really broke my heart because like I said, that was the best point in my life. It was a really life-changing moment in my life. So my heart goes out to them. But anyway, so yeah, Disney College Program. I'll link that information down below. If you are watching this and you're younger, or you're in college or grad school and you would like to participate in that, or if you know somebody who would like to participate, you can forward this on to them, and that way they can have all of that information. But Disney College Program aside, just for anybody, there are other great opportunities at the parks, and these are in the sort of like the realm of tours. So they have a lot of behind the scene tours. I've never done them. Well, I did them as a cast member, but I've never done them like as a non-cast member, but I plan to in the future. The 2 tours that I really want to do, they have a lot of like behind the scenes Magic Kingdom tours that you could do. I'm not going to do that because I worked at the Magic Kingdom, so I know all that behind the scenes stuff. But they have at Epcot, and I'll post like a picture of it somewhere here. They have a tour called Behind the Seeds that goes into Living with the Land, that attraction where you go into hydroponic growing, and they take you behind the scenes of all of that. And I think that's really interesting. And I have some friends who have done the African Trek, and they said that that was really cool. And I think that whenever I get healthier and I've recovered a little more from surgeries, I definitely want to do that. It's where you literally like you walk across the safari ride on like suspension bridges. I just think that that's like just in general a really cool opportunity. They have like kind of backstage tours for anybody and everybody. They have a tour that you can go and like see the trains if that's something that you like. And I just think that that's really cool. The first thing was near and dear to my heart. Second thing is near and dear to my stomach. It is the food, y'all. Like, so in my normal everyday life, just because of my schedule, I typically eat like maybe 2 meals a day. I might snack all the way during the day. But let me tell you, when I'm at Walt Disney World, I make it a point, like I eat like every 2 hours. I don't understand when people will go like off property, like outside of the parks or outside of the resort area to eat. I don't understand that. And I really don't understand whenever people will comment that the food at Walt Disney World is just hamburgers and hot dogs. It's not. Like they have some like freakishly good food, whether it's like in a cart, and they do have hot dogs there. I'm not a big fan of their hamburgers, but they do have hot dogs there. They're damn good hot dogs, by the way. But they have like anything and everything you can imagine. They have like 5-star restaurants there. And the food is just delicious. Every time I go, it's just like a constant snacking. And I constantly want to try new things there. So the third thing that I absolutely love, these are kind of tied together. So we're going from like regular food to just the frozen treats. When I tell you that when I die and go to the afterlife, if they do not have Dole Whip there, I'm going to be sorely disappointed, because Dole Whip is one of my favorite foods ever. Like not just at Disney World, ever. If you don't know what a Dole Whip is, it's very quite simple. It is a non-dairy ice treat that's flavored like pineapple. It's like a frozen pineapple non-dairy treat. Y'all, it's so good. It's so good. Like I can't even express how good it is. I eat like 5 or 6 every time I go. Like it's a problem, y'all. It is a problem. It's nice and tart and sweet, and it's beautiful. I also really like their, let's see, in Epcot in Japan, they have shaved ice, which just like melt in your mouth on a really hot summer day. They have like the Mickey ice cream bars, like Mickey on a stick. You will see them in stores, like Target had it for Mickey's 90th birthday. And I picked them up and I was all excited. I was like, yeah, it's the ice cream that you get at Walt Disney World. No, it tasted nothing like the ice cream that you get at Walt Disney World. But the frozen treats are just beautiful. All right, so the fourth thing that I love about Walt Disney World is that you can actually go resort hopping. That's something that I feel like a good number of people know, but you may not know. You can literally go and like, if you're at the Magic Kingdom and you want to be like, oh, what does the Grand Floridian look like? You can hop on the monorail and you can ride the monorail around and you can see what the Grand Floridian looks like. And I think that that is so cool. I think I've been to every resort Maybe not. I think there's a few maybe I have not, but that doesn't mean I've stayed in every Disney resort. But I've just gone. I like to go and I like to walk through the lobbies. Resort hopping is something that I really like to do when I'm at the parks and it gets too crowded or it gets too hot or I get a little too stressed out with like, it gets too people-y. I'll walk to the front of the park, hop on a monorail, hop on a boat, hop on a bus, and just take it to a resort. I'll go sit in the lobby, might grab a coffee or a tea, some water, peruse around the gift shop, cool off, unwind, and then whenever I'm ready, I just get back on the mode of transportation for whatever park I'd like to go to. And that is pretty much, you could do an entire day pretty much of just resort hopping instead of like going to parks. Like if you're going there, let's say for 6 days, but you only have money to go to the parks for 5 days, you could spend one of those days resort hopping and you would still find like tons and tons of stuff to occupy your time. The resorts are just beautiful and breathtaking. By the way, my absolute favorite resort to just go and sit in and just sort of chill and relax is the Polynesian, which is on the monorail loop from the Magic Kingdom. All right, so we're halfway through this list. Number 5 is rides. So you may be like, oh, all they have is kiddie rides or all they have is thrill rides. And no, they have rides for everybody and anybody. They also have really great attractions, but that's not the point of this. The rides that I particularly like I will get on Mount Everest, which is a really intense roller coaster. I'll ride some of the roller coasters, but the rides that I particularly like can actually be found in like these two sort of posters. I really love the corny, old-fashioned classic rides. Like, I love the Tiki Room. Like, if I could feasibly make my whole apartment look like the Tiki Room ride, I 100% would. Or attraction. I don't know if that's considered a ride or an attraction because it's audio animatronics. The same with the Country Bear Jamboree, which is my second favorite one. You just sit there and you watch the audio animatronics kind of perform. So not sure if it falls into ride or attraction category. If you know specifically, let me know down below. But yeah, those corny rides, like the old-fashioned rides that just seem like the original Imagineers, and like Walt kind of had a hand in them. I know that he didn't in like most cases, or he did in like Disneyland, but of course not in Disney World. But those are my favorite rides. I love just the feeling that they give me that every single thing is going to be okay. Kind of talked about this with the rides, that there is a ride for everybody. But the sixth thing that I love about Walt Disney World is that it is truly fun for all ages. Just like I don't understand the people who come back and say, oh, the food was just hamburgers and hot dogs. I don't understand the people who come back and say, oh, it was just kid things. Because it's not. Like, it's truly not. Like, even if you go with children, you can find other things to do that are not kids-centered. So whether that be like a certain attraction that kids don't like but you like, or that be a certain ride or a certain part of a park, everything is like acceptable for kids to see. Like, it is all very family friendly, but it is not just like, haha, let's go see all the princesses. Like, that's not just what Disney World's about. Disney World has things for anybody and everybody with nearly every interest, I think, especially whenever you branch out to the resorts and you branch out to like Disney Springs, which we may cover in a whole other video, all about Disney Springs. But when you really branch out and you go from just like microscopically looking at, okay, this park has princesses and this park has the characters and this park has this and that, you'll find that there are things for all ages. And I think that that is really cool. I've been to other amusement parks, and I don't know if I think that that's what they classify themselves at, like other amusement parks. And I didn't find that, because I'm not a big thrill rides person. So I didn't find like I had that much fun at them, just simply because like I just kind of stood there while friends went on rides and I didn't do much but stand around and look around. And that is something that I do love about Walt Disney World, because even if you don't like a certain thing, there's always going to be something that you can go and find that you will enjoy. The seventh thing is mainly Epcot centered. So Epcot, as Walt Disney would say. I love that. But anyway, so Epcot has festivals pretty much all year round. Like there are, and I'm not exactly, so they have the Food and Wine Festival that brings in food and wine from all over the world. And in addition to the countries in the World Showcase that they normally have, they have additional countries that you can go and taste the food and wine specific to that region. They also have the Festival of the Arts, which is one of the newer festivals, I think. And that is a really cool festival. It is very art-centered, where you can go and you can register for classes. Some are free and some cost, but you can register for classes with certain animators or certain sculptors or things like that. So that is a really neat one, especially if you do like art. Then you have the Christmases, or I can't remember what this one's called, but it's around Christmas time, and it's where you learn about the Christmases, the Christmas traditions in all of the different countries. That is really neat, especially if you do like to look at things like with a world view. And then you have the final festival, which is my favorite festival, and it's actually, well, it would be happening right now if Disney parks were opened, but it is the Flower and Garden Festival, where Epcot is already like beautiful as far as flowers go, but there are topiaries of all of the characters. Have kind of like walkthroughs that you can go, like you can go into a butterfly garden. It's really botanical, and it's really, really, really floral. And I think it like jumps alive with spring. And that festival is during like the spring and the summer. So the spring, and it usually stops the very beginning of June. So the festivals, by the way, at Epcot are free, not like an extra like activity party thing. If you have your normal ticket to the park, you can go and you can experience them. They are really, really cool. The next time that you are planning a trip to Walt Disney World, make sure you do a little research at what festival is going to be taking place at Epcot at the time that you're going. That way you can schedule activities around it. I haven't talked this much in a few days, so like my vocal cords are kind of straining. So, all right. So, number 8. And I have a friend who might be watching this at home, and she will probably, if she is watching this, she'll probably text me in a few seconds because she can't really stand them. But but number 8 on this list is the fireworks. The fireworks at Walt Disney World, to me, are just super spectacular. And I know that was a really corny way to describe them, but like just kind of like how words could not express my love for the Dole Whip. The same thing with the fireworks. The fireworks are just so magical and majestical, and they're all inclusive, and you just, for those like 13 minutes that the fireworks are going on, you are completely lost in all of the atmosphere. And they're so, so beautiful. So beautiful in the fact that like I don't even go see other people's fireworks. Like if there's fireworks out like in the country somewhere or at like a local festival, I will not go see them because I know that they're going to fail in comparison to Magic Kingdom's and to Epcot's fireworks. Yeah, so the fireworks are fantastic. I know that sometimes you cannot avoid leaving before the fireworks, but I do highly recommend that you stay to watch them. So my last 2 things that I absolutely love about Walt Disney World are not really like tangible things. They're not something that you can buy or something that you can go and ride or something that you can eat. They're just things that you can experience. So the 9th thing that I absolutely love about Walt Disney World is the sheer element of storytelling that the parks have. Every park has a different story. Every resort, every restaurant has a different story. I mean, the Tangled bathrooms have a story. They're beautiful and they have a story. And I love that. I love that you go and it's all immersive and you kind of like lose yourself in the parks, and you might even lose yourself in like the section of the parks. And like these are Starbucks mugs, by the way, but like the storytelling. So these are part of the You Are Here. Is that what they're called? Been There. The Been There series mugs from Starbucks. But like they're like, you can see like the storytelling even goes into like all of their merchandise. Like my favorite is Fitchwa Fellow, by the way, from Animal Kingdom. Like whenever you go into the Africa section of Animal Kingdom or the India section of Animal Kingdom, like they brought representatives into the parks to be able to like build the park and keep that storytelling alive. The same with Epcot. When you go to Epcot and you go into the World Showcase, cultural representatives from these countries came and they looked at it and they looked over plans and they okayed things. And that is why, like, whenever you go, it looks like you're in that country, like a miniature version of the country, but it looks like it because that effort was put into that storytelling. And that is just the thing that I think that like Walt Disney World and Disney parks in general, that storytelling and that charm like supersedes and like surpasses every other kind of amusement park out there, because you are completely enveloped in a story when you're there. And that story is actually something that like you remember even whenever you leave. And speaking of things that you remember even whenever you leave, we made it, guys. We made it to number 10. If you've been here all this time, thank you so much for sticking around. Give this video a big thumbs up. But number 10 is just a sense of inclusion and underlying hope. And so for this, I'm going to tell you a story of the last time that I was at Walt Disney World. And the last time I went to Walt Disney World, a few summers ago, I was on my way to Epcot, and I was on the bus, and the way that the buses worked at the resort I was staying at was they went from like section to section because it was quite a big resort. Anyway, you didn't really need to know that. But I was sitting on the bus waiting at another bus stop, and all of a sudden the bus starts like going back, which means that the bus driver was loading in a person on a wheelchair, or using a wheelchair rather. And it is usually, by the way, elderly people that I see being loaded in the buses on wheelchairs. But who do I see whenever I turn my head but a little girl, probably around like 9 or 10, dressed like to the nines as a princess. And so she rolled in, got her all buckled. We all set off to Epcot. We got down at Epcot. I was not following her, by the way. At this point in the story, it's probably going to make me sound creepy. I'd just like to say I was not following her. It's just whenever you get to the parks, there's only one path that you can go down. So we were all kind of like walking. We were walking as a bus load to the front of the park, kind of kept walking, not following these people, but just like the destinations were the same. Just the way that everything's roped off. But I was able to see this little girl dressed like a princess, enjoying her time in her wheelchair without a care in the world. And I knew that things like obviously, I knew things like that happened at Walt Disney World and at the Disney parks. But just seeing it at that moment, I just realized like, damn, this really is inclusive, because that little girl had zero cares in the world. She was not like, I saw her get on a ride and like, once again, not following her, but like we went to the same ride and she was loaded onto a ride. And that was really cool and really, really touching, but it was a really neat thing. That is something that I absolutely love about Walt Disney World. And that is something that I find is really neat. The parks are so inclusive, whether it is that you are elderly or you are handicapable, if you are on a kosher diet. By the way, if you do give Disney 24 to 48 hours of notice, they can kind of create like a little special menu for you at most places. Check into that if you're going and you're on a special diet. But speaking of special diets, if you have a food allergy or a food intolerance, I have a lot of food intolerances, and they do a really good job of, whenever I go, they like take out a full binder and they're like, all right, this has this and this has this and this has this. And I think that is really great. Everybody there just goes that extra mile to make every single person who walks through those gates or through the doors of the hotel feel super important and like they are truly special. And that is actually my favorite thing about Walt Disney World. That's the end. Those are my top 10 favorite things that I absolutely love about Walt Disney World. So I kind of liked this. I kind of liked talking about Disney. This might be a thing. Let's see. This is Wednesday. We might call it, so this might be a thing. This might be a series I start. Let's see, like Walt Disney Wednesdays. Yeah, that might be a thing. Give this a big thumbs up if you would be interested in a series of like Walt Disney Wednesdays. I might do that. If you have like suggestions of things that I could talk about for Walt Disney Wednesdays, leave that in the comments down below as well. So by this point, YouTube should be recommending for you to hit that subscribe button and should be like suggesting videos somewhere. If you would like, you can click on those videos, watch them. If you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You won't miss any more uploads in the future. Thank you for spending a little bit of your time with me today. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you later.